Hello and welcome to Connect2Impact here in Nashville, Tennessee. Joining us now with Satara is Andrew Samson. Andrew, great to have you with us.
Jenna, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to get out here and be a part of this.
Yes, and this is not the first time that you're speaking here at the event. You're co-leading a discussion on hiring and chipping away at barriers. Could you share a little bit more about that and maybe give some examples of how you've broken down barriers in your career?
Yeah, so honestly, I think the biggest barriers that I've been able to break down are all in my own head, right? So those ones are the ones that you have control over. And there's something called, I think it's called imposter syndrome, right? And when I close my eyes and imagine a financial advisor, I don't see Andrew Samson. You know, I think I see like Warren Buffett or Bill Wild, who's part of Wild Wealth, which is a group that I'm with, right? So one of the biggest ways that I can break down barriers is just being here, and I hope that one day I'll close my eyes and see Andrew Samson or Steve Oliver, who's another advisor who's here. He's been an advisor for over 30 years. Sylvester Thomas, he's been an advisor for almost 40 years now. And just having that difference and being able to see yourself or someone who reflects yourself as an advisor, that's a huge barrier to overcome.
To your point, we're often our own worst enemies.
Oh, absolutely. And I know. I have a buddy who tells me if I talk to you the way you talk to you, we couldn't be friends, right? So yeah, we're oftentimes our own worst enemies.
Well, congratulations on all your success thus far, and no need for imposter syndrome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
We're also hearing a lot about mentorship here at Connect2Impact. What are your thoughts on mentorship? I know this is something that you're passionate about.
Oh, absolutely. Mentorship is very, very important. One thing I hope that we talk a little bit more about today is being a mentor versus finding a mentor. Mentorship is very important, and what I feel it forces you to do is take all those thoughts of who you are and what's important to you and refine them in a format that's deliverable to your mentee, right? So not only does it help that mentee, but I think more importantly, the mentor grows. It really comes back to the concept of finding a way to serve versus finding someone to serve you.
And you're also focused on small business owners. Could you share a little bit more about this group?
Yeah, so it's interesting with small business owners. Oftentimes you're in a room of other people at conferences or networking, and you may feel alone because you're the only guy there who resembles you. But when I'm in a room full of small business owners, that's a place in which I do feel like I belong. It's a point of contact or a touch point that we share, and I feel like I belong. In addition to that, I have one business model, right? And my practice is built on financial planning. The niche that actually fits into that model the best for me happens to be business owners. So there's a little bit of the chicken or the egg thing going on there. Business owners fit into my square peg the best. And it's a place where I feel like I'm doing the most good.
Now, turning to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, how can DEIB have a positive impact in, any profession, but particularly and especially financial services?
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned I'm part of Wild Wealth. And when I started with Wild Wealth, we probably had, including myself, maybe 8 advisors. And now we have over 32 advisors, and we grow constantly. And every time there's an email that goes out, I'll send Trevor Wild a text that says rising tides, right? Because I know that as we grow and we add more individuals, diverse backgrounds, we just get better, right? So, and to me, it's the difference between partners and teammates, right? So a partner is you and I are going to be X, and we're going to go out and we're going to accomplish Y, right? We're a teammate, I'm blocking and you're running the ball. But if you score, we both win, right? And diversity and inclusion is like that. You need blockers, you need tacklers. We don't all need to be doing the same thing at the same time. We need to find our skills, master that skill, and as we do our job, then we'll all be successful. So diversity is absolutely a skill or a attribute that's just going to improve any organization.
Certainly. And you've clearly had quite an impact at your firm, but kind of zooming out here and taking a bird's eye view. What are your thoughts on our opportunity to influence the future of our profession?
Yeah, so that's another one. It's another really good question. And I was kind of thinking about this earlier. It's really easy to, I recently bought a house, and you sit in that house and you're like, wow, look what I've done, and talk to my wife and say, babe, look what we've done. But if you really think about it, you have those guys like, Stephen Oliver, who I mentioned earlier, who's been an advisor for 30 years. He's been breaking down barriers before I even got here. I was 8 when he started, right? So if you really think about it, I'm standing on those guys' shoulders and I'm saying, look what I've done. No, look how far we've come as a team. He's just passing me the baton. And the best thing I can do is keep that going so that the next people who are standing on my shoulders, right? It's don't pray for less barriers. Don't pray for less boundaries. Pray for stronger thighs and broader shoulders so that next group can stand on those shoulders and see what they've been able to accomplish after you.
I love that. Very well said.
Thank you.
And kind of building off of that, it's, a delicate balance of celebrating those victories and breaking down those barriers, but also not being too complacent and continuing to move forward.
It's very easy to, again, have that mentality of, look what I've done, and in truth, when you look at your accomplishments, it should be humbling, if you ask me.
And finally, Andrew, why take time out of your very busy schedule to travel here? What do you see as the value of participating in this event?
That's an easy one. It comes back to voting, right? If you don't vote, you can't complain, right? So I'm here to make sure that my voice is heard and that whatever change or positive impact that I can affect, that I get to affect that. And then if things don't go right, I will complain. But as far as what we're doing right now, I've been so impressed with what the council's been able to do and the ability to have my one voice and that one voice be able to be reflected in the council's activities, or even something like this where we're having a conference that's making an impact across the organization. So that's why I'm here.
Well, we're thrilled that you're here, and thank you so much for joining us, Andrew.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
And thank you to everyone watching. Once again, that was Andrew Samson with Cetera. I'm Jenna Dagenhart with Asset TV.